After a close victory by a unanimous decision over Doug Jones in a 10-round bout, Clay's management decided to match him with Great Britain fighter Enry Cooper. At the time, Cooper was the champion not just of England but also of the entire Commonwealth. At 29, he was an elder statesman who had been fighting professionally for nearly a decade, beloved for his working-class Cockney roots and modest manner. When 21-year-old Cashius spouted off prior to his fight with Cooper at Wembley Stadium, his foe did not retaliate.
Well, Enry Cooper's nothing but a tramp. He's a bum. I'm the world's greatest. He must fall in 5 rounds, but if you talk about me, I'll cut it 3.
He did not mind hearing Clay's words. Cooper realized his trash-talking was benefiting both men.
Well, let him do the talking. He does enough for both of us.
And he's building up the gate, and I'm on a percentage just like he is. Enry Cooper will think he's Gordon Cooper when I put him in orbit, Clay stated. I'm going to hit that bum so fast and so regular, he'll think he's surrounded. At the weigh-in at the Palladium Theatre, Cassius said, "You've got a queen, you need a king. I am king." He also promised to record a knockout in the 5th round. It ain't no jive, Enry Cooper will go in 5.
I'm too fast. Round 5.
On June 18, 1963, Cassius Clay met Enry Cooper at Wembley Stadium in London. Clay, a 4-1 favourite, entered the ring wearing a gold crown that used in a pantomime.
Cassius Clay, the gimmick man to the last, comes into the ring with this monster crown on his head, and all the way down to the ringside, people were throwing things and trying to knock the crown off his head. Enry Cooper, the British champion, 29 years old, facing tonight his biggest test against the unbeaten Cassius Clay from America.
Clay and Cooper fought before a crowd of 35,000 viewers.
Coming into the ring with that ridiculous crown on his head, Mr. Clay is doing his best to cheapen the professional fight game, and I must say I'm inclined to share those views myself. On the right-hand side, Cassius Clay, the greatest, according to the legend, on his crimson silk dressing gown. 21 years old, 18 fights, 18 wins, 14 of them inside the distance, and he's now known as Cassius, or the Louisville Lip and the Louisville Loudmouth. Here's Cooper, 29 last month, the left hook specialist, 36 fights, he's won 27, 19 of them inside the distance, he's lost 8, and he's drawn 1. The sky rapidly darkening, with an impressive backdrop of dark, menacing clouds. The rain now just beginning to ease off. The handsome figure of Cassius Marcellus Clay, perhaps the biggest clown in the game since Max Baer before the war.
An international heavyweight contest, 10 rounds, from Bellingham, the heavyweight champion of Great Britain and the British Empire, Enry Cooper. From Louisville, Kentucky, Cassius Marcellus Clay. Cooper, 13 stone, 3.5 pounds. Clay, 14 stone, 11 pounds.
Cassius had 4.5-inch reach advantage and 2.5 inches height advantage.
The referee, Mr. Tommy Little. The timekeeper, Mr. Stan Courtney.
Shake hands, and when the bell rings, come out boxing, and may the best man win.
Brief instructions from Tommy Little, the referee, and Clay has said, "I'll beat him in 5. We'll see."
In the first round, after Clay's landed jab, Cooper started dodging properly and soon tagged Cassius with a left hook.
Clay really is a fine figure of the man. 14 muscle.
Fighters were moving at the same speed. Fast left hook by Enry Cooper.
Cooper quick to pick up the left hook, and he's going in and he's hurt Clay. Clay's hanging on and he's blinking and frowning in the first 30 seconds. And Clay's nose is bleeding.
However, many of Cooper's strikes narrowly missed their mark due to Clay's ability to sway away from an incoming punch. After American landed a straight right hand, Cooper threw a left hook, but missed, then grabbed Clay's left hand, this time landing with a left hook.
Fights too quietly. Cooper has come out full of fight.
While Cashius was spitting wrath at the referee, Cooper tried to perform the same trick. Clay clearly lost his temper, and Enry was waiting for it.
Cooper's trying to hold him, and he's getting angry. This is a sensational start to this fight. Clay has gone fighting mad. Clay showing he's not holding inside. There's blood on Cooper's left shoulder, and that comes from Clay's nose. Right into Clay's face, and he's scoring heavily with it, and he's hurting the American. A sensational start to this fight. And Cooper right on top, going the first.
Englishman won the first round, and the crowd was going crazy.
There's the ball.
Clay tapped to Cooper's shoulder. Respect had been earned.
A fantastic start by the British champion. Completely overthrown all his old nervousness at the start and come out there a fighting man. The great Cassius Clay, right out of his stride in the first round. Angrily demonstrating with the referee in that first round that he didn't like Cooper's holding. Man who's never been beaten. Now the crowd is starting up a fantastic roar for Cooper. This is quite the most extraordinary fight night I've ever experienced in Britain. There's Cooper. Can he beat Clay and put British professional boxing right on top of the heavyweight world?
In the second round, Clay was more composed as he glided out of the way and began to pump the left jab with enough accuracy to Cooper's face.
One slightly disturbing thought after that first round. Cooper hit him hard with the left hook several times, but he didn't go down or even show a sign of going down. Clay, he can take a punch.
Enry's speed wasn't the same as in the previous round, and he turned into counterattacks, combining double left jabs with powerful left hooks.
Full of confidence, Enry. Jab of Clay, and there's no telling at this stage which punch is going to come out on top. Cooper's right hand, the first time he's shown it.
A slight cut opened underneath Englishman's left eye near the end of the round.
That left jab of Clay is beginning to get very accurate and steady into Cooper's face. And Cooper is cut, or rather grazed, underneath his left eye.
Cashius was more successful while shooting jabs and ducked most of Enry's power punches.
And as the bell ends the second, so Cooper's cut underneath his left eye has worsened slightly after a couple of left jabs on it from Clay. He always cuts easily, Cooper, but it's underneath the eye and not over, which means that it's not nearly as serious as it might be. It is one of his really good nights. In fact, it's his greatest night, Cooper, against Clay. Let's look at Clay, who's been promised to fight with the winner of Liston and Patterson if he comes through this tonight.
In the third, it seemed that Clay put more effort into eyebrow hunting because of his disadvantageous position of a guest in a rival's hometown. As Cooper moved in closer, Clay threw a chopping right hand that opened a gash on Cooper's left eyebrow.
Cooper's left eye patched up now, and still he hooks with that left hand. And now he's cut over the left eye. Enry Cooper is cut over the left eye, and it looks to me...
It was Enry who lost temper on this occasion. It seemed only a matter of time before eye trouble would thwart.
This is what we always feared about Cooper. Round 3. He's going to have a job to get through with that eye. Cooper now fighting desperately because he knows that his time may be short.
Clay played with Cooper for the rest of the round, counter-punching and dodging with his hands down, and generally trying to humiliate Cooper.
Clay is unmarked. Cooper trying to nail him in the third if he can. There's no telling now how long he's got to go, Cooper, with that eye. Clay now, look at him, he's got his arms down, he's contemptuously treating Cooper. His arms are down by his hips, just using his feet to keep away from Cooper. Clay has taken all of Cooper's punches and stood up to them. Clay hardly bothering to punch in this round now. He's just threatening and he's teasing Cooper. He's trying to make Cooper look small in the third round, and Cooper's left eye is a very sorry sight indeed. It's cut above and below. Danny Holland, with the swab sticks in his mouth there, is going to have to work really hard to try and staunch the flow of blood. Clay completely unmarked and looking set for victory because of this handicap to Cooper's left eye. Well, they've worked on it. Tommy Little chasing Cooper.
In the fourth round, with blood trickling down his face, Enry continued with his aggressive tactics and started pursuing Clay, who now started fooling around, moving and throwing only intermittent punches at Enry.
Clay's 11 managers, Bill Faversham, and he called out to Clay in the interval, cut out the funny business and get down to work. So the Clay people are not too happy with their man. This is not the way to go about things when you're a world heavyweight contender. Cooper's eye already bleeding again in the fourth round. Above and below, two streams of blood. He keeps putting his left glove up there to that eye as though he can hardly believe his bad luck.
Through the round, Cooper was throwing many powerful left hooks, most of which American danced out of range.
A sign that a left hook from Cooper could really hurt this man, but apart from the opening minute, he hasn't seemed to hurt Clay very much. And now Clay is just jabbing casually with his left hand. Dancing around on the outside of Cooper.
Near the end of the round, Cooper frequently broke the distance between them in attempt of KO.
Here, but that's the sort of chance you can take once too often, and if Enry nails him, anything might happen.
With seconds remaining at the end of the fourth, Enry unleashed a savage left hook, called Enry's Hammer. The punch landed bang on Clay's jaw and he fell backwards onto the ropes. He got up at the count of 4, then the bell sounded.
Right on the bell has sounded!
Clay was in a bad way and was helped to his stool by trainer Angelo Dundee.
He hit him about 2 seconds before the end of the round, furiously on him in the corner. Angelo Dundee, his trainer. He really is giving him a talking to.
Assistant trainer Chicky Ferrara can be seen putting ammonia-based smelling salts under his nose, which would have been a disqualifying offense if he had been caught. Dundee called the referee over to the corner and told him that Cashius had a torn right glove. Referee Little shouted officials at ringside for a new pair, which already had quite near. There was no question of anyone having to go to the dressing room to get them. Timekeeper Stan Courtney recalls, "At no time was I instructed to stop my watch to allow for the refitting of the gloves. Therefore, I waited until I got the signal from referee Little to ring the bell. When I did so, my watch showed that the interval between rounds had in fact been 1 minute 40 seconds.
And out we come to round 5, and now round 5 is the round in which Clay said he would beat Cooper.
At the beginning of round 5, Clay came out and stood flat-footed. His punching was fast, furious and deadly accurate. The punches bounced off Cooper's head before he could even set himself to punch back. Cooper's left eye began to pour blood like a burst pipe.
Cooper's left eye is pouring blood. Gum shoots flying out. Enry is dripping blood.
Not dazed or seriously hurt, Cooper could not possibly go on. He looked like a man who had put his head in a shredder.
It is the worst cut eye I've seen for a very, very long time indeed. I do not see how he can let this go much further. It's round 5.
Referee Tommy Little had no option but to stop the fight.
Foul has come in from Cooper's corner, and Tommy Little's looking at it, and he's had to stop the fight.
Clay's prediction of a 5th round win had come to fruition.
Had to stop the fight, Tommy Little. It's all over in round 5, And Clay is getting bombarded with programs from angry ringsiders. The man who was put down at the end of the 4th round. And Cooper, although he's been beaten on a cut-eye, is far from disgraced.
Immediately after the fight, Cassius Clay declared, "Cooper's not a bum anymore. I underestimated him. He's the toughest fighter I ever met and the first to really drop me." Also, Clay reported about knockdown situation. "I dropped my guard and glanced down ringside at a screaming woman Hollywood star, Elizabeth Taylor. Suddenly something exploded against my jaw. I was down on the floor. I was dazed and numb. The stadium was roaring. The referee was counting. But before he said 4, the bell rang. Back in the corner, my trainer Angelo Dundee discovered that the seam of my boxing glove was busted. It took nearly a minute to make the replacement. Many times I've been asked if I needed the extra minute it took. I believe a regular minute would have been enough to clear my head. But of course the extra minute gave me new vigor, and I came out shooting jabs and hard, straight, slashing rights across to the head. So, with iconic Hollywood couple Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor positioned at ringside, Clay sent enough blood hurtling in their direction to fill several love hearts. Cooper later said of the punch, "It just felt solid all up my arm. When you hit him solid, it's just that lovely feeling." And when he went down, he was in trouble. He had gone. I said to myself, "I've got him," and then the bleed-in bell went. Also, he recalled, "The ropes let him down gentle. You went from the top to the bottom rope. If that had been in the middle of the ring, and he'd gone down on his head, that would have shook him up. If that had just been off them bloody ropes." Cooper had gone from appearing to be on the brink of a career-defining victory to losing blood at an alarming rate. Years later, he would say they did the business on the glove. "I've had dinner with Dundee a couple of times since then, and he's openly admitted it." In fact, Angelo teared glove a little more with his finger. Clay's main problem was that he lost concentration. Having cut Cooper in the 3rd, Cashius figured that the fight was already won. He postured throughout the remainder of that round and looked disinterested in the 4th. Having predicted a 5th-round knockout win, the super-confident 21-year-old was biding his time and almost ran out of luck.